unmute unless it's your turn to speak. The second ground rule is that if you are uncomfortable with being recorded or being live streamed, please tell us in advance and we can suspend the recording when you want it to be suspended if you are taking the central stage. Thirdly, we voluntarily decide and elect to not speak about sex, religion, and politics. Also, we refrain from touching upon controversial topics that are likely to cause discord and disagreement amongst members. And lastly, one requirement of this meeting is to have as much fun as possible. So with that, I hand over the charge to, all right, we just had our president, but she seems to have logged out. But we will wait for her, and in the meantime, we'll conduct a little business session. So, first of all, there has been no club business in the meantime that requires approval from the members. Every decision remains the same. Secondly, there are a few results that we need to share. First of all, results from the last meeting, which was a combined meeting with CA Toastmasters Club Karachi. Best speaker was won by Toastmaster Ali Khan. Critics' choice was also won by him. Can you?
It was a tie between.
It was a tie between DTM Sarfraz and Toastmaster Ali Khan. Best evaluator was Toastmaster Bijar Khan, first time evaluator. And best table topics was by myself and DTM Z. And best facilitator was won by myself as the accountant. Finally, the results from prior meetings have also been shared. I will just touch upon the result from the October 5th meeting. We didn't have a Critics' Choice award. Best speaker was won by Toastmaster Kareem Meghani. Best table topic speaker was won by Toastmaster Bijar Khan. Best evaluator was won by Toastmaster Ursa Kawal. Best facilitator by Toastmaster Muzammil, who was our listener. And Best Big Four was won by DTM Saad Shwek. Finally, we have a few events coming up. First event is this Sunday, which is our evaluation and table topics contest. And these two contests are open to any member of the club. There is no prior qualification requirement. These two contests will also happen exactly in the same manner, in the hybrid manner. Contestants who are in Karachi are encouraged to participate in person. Contestants who are outside Karachi will be provided a provision to be able to participate via Zoom. And the contest timing will be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So all of you are strongly encouraged to come to Beach Luxury to attend these contests and compete in these contests. And on October the 24th at 11 p.m., we will have a joint meeting with leaders worldwide Toastmasters Club San Francisco, for which we need a couple of role players, which will be announced very soon. So with that, I hand over the charge now to our president, Toastmaster Hiba. Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba. And we have completed the business session, so you can just go through the introductions.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning from whichever part of the world you are in. Toastmasters is a public speaking platform where people from all walks of life come together to improve their public speaking and leadership skills. And leadership skills. It was founded back in 1924 by Razak in Englewood, Colorado, and it has more than 350,000 members worldwide. And for the guests, I'll be taking the introduction. So, Mr. Shehbaz Sarwar, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, ma'am. Yes, please. Hello.
Hello, yes. Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm a chartered management accountant and I'm the Toastmasters of ICAP Faisalabad group. Yeah. I just want to learn from you guys how you conduct the meeting and everything. So wanna participate in this meeting.
Okay,
Thank you. Good.
okay. And Mr. Shahroz, can you please introduce yourself? Unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Sharoz. I'm a chairman Union Council, and I want to improve myself. I want to improve my leadership skills to deliver good speeches in public platform. That's why I'm here.
Okay. And do we have any guests
Yes, we have.
publicly?
We have guest Roger, Toastmaster Roger from USA.
Okay, so that's
Sir,
not
can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'd like to say hello. I've been at Toastmasters 43 years, and I belong 5 clubs in the Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts area, and I've been an area governor 5 times, division governor twice, and since the clubs went virtual, I've been all over the United States, all over other countries virtually. So I just want to say hello. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is an honor that you joined us, and we hope that you have a great meeting. And Madam President, we have a few guests here as well, physically. So am I allowed to call them to the stage?
Yes, yes. Why not?
Yes. And I know guest Ali, you are itching to speak, but you are a very
regular now.
guest. You're a very familiar guest by now. So we have our first guest, guest Hamza. Please come on the stage and introduce yourself. And everyone, please remember, Toastmasters is a place where we clap for no reason at all. So please keep.
Hi, I'm Hamza. I'm an actually chartered accountant and an ACCA. And I came here just to see how Toastmasters work. And maybe I can add some value to this organization or may take some, value and communication skills or leadership skills from you guys as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you. Yes, and soon to be Toastmaster Hamza.
Thank you.
And the beauty of Toastmasters is that we all learn from each other. Next, we have Mr. Mohammed Irfan. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Irfan. Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer, and the purpose to come here in this event to improve my presentation skills and leadership skills and public speaking skills. So I'm eager to learn these things. So it's a good opportunity for me to come here and join this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have our dear friend and colleague, guest Musa. Yes, every guest has to introduce himself. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Musa Mehman. I am working in Lexan Group in marketing department for the last few years. I just came here to boost my son who has done his MBA from Ikra University, just to buck up. Thank you very much.
How will you do things if you're not a Toastmaster yourself? And we have someone who is our newest member. And just like iodine turns from solid to gas, this person turned from a visitor to a member without being a guest. So everyone, please put your hands together for our newest member, Toastmaster.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Salman Mehman. Recently, I have done my MBA from Mitra University. The expectation to join this club is to have the public speaking and leadership skill, which I think is a great opportunity for me to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, we can ask guest Ali Malik to introduce himself for the last time, because after that, he will have to become a member.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ali Imran. I've been coming here as a guest for now, I think 2-3 months. And I'm very eager to join as a Toastmaster, inshallah.
Thank you so much. We also have someone named just Ali. Would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Ali? All right, all right. So yes, over to you, Madam President.
Okay. Now, sorry. And we all know the Toastmaster of the evening as a very eloquent speaker. And he's none other than DTM 4 or 5 times DTM, if I'm correct, and DTM Tanha bin Hamid. So over to you. You are muted.
Thank you so much. So it's good to be on the stage for the first time today. So today's theme is the power of one. And it's a very curious topic, because many times when we hear success stories from various leaders or speakers, they always go something like, oh, I used to be an introvert, but then I came to Toastmaster and suddenly everything changed. As if being an introvert is like having cancer or having a terminal illness. Well, let me tell you one thing. Many leaders in Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters around the world are introverts, like me. Why? Because introversion is not a disease. It's not a disorder. It is not being weird. It is a conscious lifestyle choice. And what does introversion enable us to do? It enables us to think and to introspect. When we are not hungry for human contact, when we are not doing everything for acceptance, we get to be ourselves. We get to think, and we get to put our ideas into motion without necessarily requiring outside help. So, the power of one. Toastmasters itself is a demonstration of the power of one. Ralph P. Smedley was just one person who came up with the idea of Toastmasters. Henry Ford was one person who founded Ford Motor Company. How many great companies you see around the world which are named after families or committees or organizations? Is Ford Motor Company named Ford and Sons and Associates and Friends? Or is Microsoft named Bill Gates and Friends? No. It's the power of one that executes an idea. Yes, teams may form and do form, and they can add to those ideas. They can put those ideas into motion. But there's always that one person who comes up with the concept. Those of you who are in marketing would recognize this. In advertising, do you see teams of people writing copy for an ad or designing graphics for an ad? No, the basic concepts, the storyboards are usually done by one person. Then they go through a review process. So the power of one does not mean that a process has to be limited to one person. It just means that one person at a time is the most effective way to execute something. After that, it can go through a review process. Again, let me give you another example. Great works of fiction, were they written by teams? Great movies, were they made by 10 directors? No. All were the result of the singular vision of one person. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the power of one. And what does that power, where does that power come from? From belief. And beliefs cannot be shared. They can be propagated, but only after the belief is deeply ingrained inside you. Only after that, you can start telling that belief to other people and they get converted. So, coming back to the power of one, our first example of the power of one is Walt Disney. Today, Walt Disney or Disney is the world's largest entertainment company. And perhaps you would not know it, but Disney owns, of course, Disney's properties. It owns Star Wars. It owns Marvel. It owns Fox. How is it not a monopoly as yet remains a mystery to me. That is to be someday, perhaps that will be decided by the US courts, but it pretty much runs the world's entertainment. It also owns ESPN, by the way. So it has its hands and fingers in every jar. But where did that start from? Mickey Mouse. And again, I ask you, was Mickey Mouse a character that was created by a team of individuals? No. So why do we put so much stock in teams? I mean, teams are a good way to work, but perhaps not all of the time. But everything has to be done by teams. If we take a real life example, if we need to convey that something is not well designed, something is not emotional, something, a design is perhaps very generic. What do we call that design? We call that design by committee. Every piece of art, every automotive design, every architecture, if it does not elicit strong emotions inside you, it is usually dismissed as design by committee. Means that several people got together, everybody pooled their ideas, and it emerged as a mishmash of ideas or as something completely unoffensive. So, the power of one means that one person is communicating to their audience through whatever they're doing. They may be speaking like me. They may be designing something. They may be painting something. They may be programming something. But all in all, it all boils down to the power of one. So our Toastmasters meeting, for those who are uninitiated, it usually has 3 segments. The first segment is the education session, which is the prepared speeches. The prepared speeches are taken from Toastmasters curriculum. People study that curriculum and then they prepare their speeches and then they get evaluated, which you will witness. The second segment is table topics, which is extempore speaking. The table topics master will come on the stage and then they will invite one person to speak on a topic that is assigned right there and then. And it is our task to speak for at least 1 minute on that topic. And the third one is evaluation, where the prepared speeches will be evaluated, where the table topics will be evaluated, and where the meeting itself will be evaluated Also, there will be value addition because there will be someone who will tell us that how many grammatical mistakes were made and what could be the correct usage. What was good usage of English language during the meeting that was witnessed? How was our flow? For example, how many times I stuttered, how many times I said, filler words like this, and how was the timing of the meeting? And speaking of timing, we are already delayed, but we will try to get back on time. So just introducing the role players for today. Today, our timer is Toastmaster Azhar Khan. Toastmaster Azhar, please come on the stage and introduce your roles.
Surrounded by Toastmaster and guest. I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible and visible to us.
Okay, as a timer, I will note the all speakers, evaluator and tabletop speakers. I will note the time and I will put the green color, yellow color, and red colors. And at the end of meeting of, I will submit to my report to general evaluator. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Our main, one of the important role players today is our grammarian and word master, Toastmaster Muzammil, who is online. Toastmaster Muzammil, would you please explain your role and also the word of the day?
Thank you, DTM Tala. Yes, I am the word master and grammarian for today's meeting. And as a word master, I would like to introduce word of the day, which is pariah. It sounds like an Urdu word, pariah, but it is something different and has different meaning. Its meaning is a person who is not accepted socially because he is not liked, respected, or trusted. So all the members are requested to use this word as much as possible today. And as a grammarian, my role is to examine the language used for the meeting. So I'll be noting down the good usage as well as the wrong usage. And in the end, I'll be reporting the wrong usage with its correction. So over to you, DTM. Chala.
Thank you so much. And as our word master said, if you don't use the word pariah, he will declare you a pariah. And come to think of it, it's not that far away from the Urdu/Hindi word pariah because both essentially mean the same. So that's another interesting discovery. Next, we have our counter, DTM Sarfraz Nazir. DTM Sarfraz, over to you.
Thank you, DTM Talha and fellow Toastmasters. There are no pariahs in KTC, but some do use filler words. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will listen for overused words such as and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds including ums, and will note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase that's repeated such as I, mean, this, that. At the end of the meeting, I'll give my report. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfraz, who is joining us all the way from Texas. Next, we have our listener, our president, Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan. Toastmaster Hiba, please introduce the role.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, as the listener, I would be noting down all the interesting words and phrases spoken by the speaker in the prepared speeches and in the table topic sessions, as well as in the entire session. So everyone, please do pay attention. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. And we recognize Toastmaster Elios, who has joined us all the way from Indonesia. Thank you so much for joining us. Next, we have our last facilitator who will put some smiles on our faces. And this person doesn't really need to try because his stories are inherently funny. He just speaks about his life and we laugh. But today he will try it deliberately. So everyone, please put your hands together for our joke master, Toastmaster Faheem Razak.
Unmute yourself.
Thank you, DTM Tala, and thank you, TM Ramrana. Okay, so starting, my neighbor just banged on the wall at 4:20 a.m. Can you believe that? Luckily, I was still up playing the music. Now this might, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Now this might sound like a live story to build up to the punchline, but I hope you guys can bear with me. You know, Russia had a communist system in the 1990s, which basically took away all the incentives from Russian people in their way of life. They had banned the religion, they had banned the financial enterprises, the profitable enterprises, so there was no incentive to make any money. And even if they had any money, it was meaningless to them because there wasn't anything to buy from it. So there's a story about a Russian man who saved so much money all his life just to buy a car. So he took his money and the permit from the government that allowed him to purchase a car and went to the car showroom. When do I get my car? The clerk replied, you will get your car in exactly 7 years. 7 years? Yes, that's right. You will get your car on this day in 7 years' time. Would I get the car in the morning or the afternoon? Does it matter? We are talking 7 years here. Well, you see, because on that day, in the morning, the plumber has promised to come. With that, back to you, DTM Tala.
Thank you so much, and thank God. To the best of my knowledge, we don't have any Russians in the audience who would have found it deeply offensive. Thank you so much for that. And with that, let me remind everyone that we are 10 minutes behind schedule. So everyone, please let us all try to be on time. And I recognize two more guests, Toastmaster Haj Fatma and guest Qadar Hussain. Welcome to our meeting. Now it is time for our education session, and our first speech will be by DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hina Ali. So Toastmaster Hina, please introduce the project and the speaker.
DTM Talha also need access to share a file.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Right.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests and Toastmaster DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. Today, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir is doing his project speech from level 4 of the Persuasive Influence Pathway. The purpose statement for this project, the purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her understanding of social media to enhance an established or new social media presence. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspects of his or her experience establishing or enhancing a social media presence. So for the speech, he needs to deliver a well-organized speech about his experience, and he may choose to speak about the experience as a whole or focus on one or two aspects of it. And the speech should not be a report on the content of the Building a Social Media Presence project. Timer, please note, speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Best of luck, DTM Sarfaraz.
How is the timing being done? Are you logged in? Yes. All right. But 5, 6, 7. No, that's true. But are you
not logged in?
Then how will you show the time?
You can't do that.
No, I just you should sit before the just a few seconds. Our timer will take their place in front of the camera. So yeah, and the timing window is labeled Toastmaster, labeled Imran Rana. So yeah. All right, DTM Sarfaraz, have you pinned Imran Rana? I mean his window.
Oh, because I guess it's showing me just a second.
Sure, sure. All right. You should raise your hand. Sir, I don't think you can pin.
Yeah, because it's not letting me do that. So I'm going to.
Yeah, but what Imran will do is raise his hand, so his window is always on top. Just check and see if it is the case.
So I won't be talking more than 45 minutes, so it should be okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Okay. Okay. Can you see the slide? It says,
Yes,
Facebook
sir.
in the middle. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm not going to bore you with all the statistics and data about social media, how many people are online, how many people use Facebook, and how many hours are spent by each person on Facebook on a daily basis. But I want to talk to you about my experience with social media, especially Facebook. Now, there's too many social media sites, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, so on. If I were to use all these media outlets few hours a day, I'll be spending entire day reading posts or posting myself and not leave any time to do anything worthwhile. So I don't use all the sites. I am on LinkedIn, but I don't post, and that's mainly to connect with your business partners or your employers. So purpose of myself being on LinkedIn is to connect with people that I do consulting work for. When it comes to Instagram, usually to post the photos. I don't post on a regular basis. Most of the posts that I do are with Facebook. And I started posting several years ago. I do not post on a regular basis. And here's a reason why. You see, you use Facebook to identify yourself, who you are, let people know something about you, self-disclosure, reveal yourself. Personally, I reveal myself through my speeches, the stories that I tell during my speeches at Toastmaster clubs or in conferences. So I don't need to reveal myself through social media, especially knowing that I'm revealing to people who have no connection to me, people who might not care who I am or why I'm revealing myself. So that's one reason I do not reveal myself, but I do post once in a while. The purpose was to connect with friends. Unfortunately, the past few years, especially last year and this year, I don't see posts from my friends. I am a member of some of the groups like District 25, District 50, Toastmaster International, District 22. Most of the time when I go to see my news feed, I see posts from these groups. And in between each post, there's a sponsored ad. I do not plan to buy anything when I'm on Facebook. If I want to buy something, I'll go online on Amazon and buy what I'm looking for. So I don't need someone to tell me, hey, Sarfaraz, this is what you need. Because I know what I need and I'll find it myself. So Facebook, I find is a waste of time because all I'm seeing is ads and I do not click on those ads. Once in a blue moon, I see an ad from a friend, a Toastmaster. Most of my friends are Toastmasters. A picture with their cat, or they say, oh, I've been walking on this path. Picture of dog. One of the Toastmasters here in Fort Worth, Texas, copies or scans a cartoon from the newspaper, posts it. When I see that post, I've already seen it. What's the use of it? What am I learning from it? What am I gaining from it? Am I being entertained? No. Somebody's picture of cat, or my cat is sitting in my lap. So that's a waste of time, not only by the people who are posting it, but the people who are reading it. But the question is then, why do I post? Well, one of the reasons is it tells me who my friends are. Once in a blue moon, I test my friendships. I post and I want to see who is responding to it, who read it. There are people that linked with me for some reason on Facebook, but I do not know if they even exist. I've never heard from them. I don't see their posts. So to me, social media is most likely a waste of time. When it comes to my family, people say, oh, you can keep connection with my family. See, people who are part of my family, I call them. I don't have to post on Facebook to connect with them. My family members who are in Pakistan, I connect with them either through calls or through WhatsApp. So I don't have to connect with them through Facebook. Real friends, true friends that are here locally, once in a while I contact them and we meet for lunch. Again, I don't have to connect with them through social media. But I do use Facebook because sometimes it's not difficult or easy to connect with everyone. And here's an example. A friend from District 122, once in a while I see his posts. He's telling me where he's been, who he has met, which world champion he's been talking to, which book he has bought. So it's nice to know what he's up to, so that someday I can give a speech on the subject of Karachi Toastmasters guest and District 122's district officer, what he's up to. Fellow Toastmasters, I know how to connect with my family members and with my close friends. I do not need social media for that purpose, but I stay in touch mainly to get some notices from the districts that I belong to. That's the main reason. And once in a while, some Toastmaster passes away. The only way to know is a post through Facebook. In general, I'm not a fan of social media. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfaraz. And that's the trouble with social media. Nobody likes us, but nobody can stay away from it. So continuing our theme, the part 1. Speaking of social media, all these apps, for example, Facebook, that was primarily the vision of Mark Zuckerberg, right? Every social media has been founded after one person dreamt up the vision. And now it is up to us to decide whether the world is a better place for it or the worse. But we cannot deny its existence. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Azhar Khan, and his project is prepare for an interview, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Imran Ram. So please introduce the project.
Thank you so much, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What's the good thing about Toastmasters that it enables you to deliver some very interesting project. Like today, Toastmaster Azhar Khan will be delivering a project called Prepare for an Interview. Your pathway is presentation mastery, right?
Yes.
Okay. His pathway is presentation mastery. This project is from level 3 electives. The purpose statement of this project is for the member to
Practice the skills needed to present himself or herself well in and well in an interview. So the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. The interview theme is my skill and my identity. So give him a big round of applause. Toastmaster Azhar Khan.
All right. Yeah. So I hope we are visible and audible to everyone. All right.
Vijay, can you do the timing?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Can you call out 5 minutes, 6 and 7, because we might not. We're too busy seeing each other to notice the lights. So, good morning, good evening, everyone. Today, we are interviewing Mr. Azhar Khan. And Mr. Azhar Khan, first of all, welcome to our office.
Thank you.
I hope you found your way easily.
Yes.
So, before you start and babble on tangents, let me just remind you that for some strange reason, we have just limited 5 to 7 minutes for this interview. So try to keep your answers short and compact, because you know I'm a very busy.
I will try to, yeah, I will try to.
So, who are you? Something about yourself. Something that is perhaps not in the CV of yours.
Okay. You know my name, Razak.
Yes.
But as a career wise, I started my job as a designer. Designing is not my profession. This is my passion. And since my childhood, I liked drawing, design, each and everything. But after matric, I think I was in intermediate, I decided where I should be a designer and I started my career. But after a long time, many people knows about myself. Now I'm a designer. So that's why I prefer my profession and this is my skill in my presentation.
So as a designer, you know that our place actually does design work for clients. And there's always this very difficult area where a designer has to change their designs according to the client's needs, even though they won't like them. So how do you deal with that situation?
I told you it's my passion, but I have a lots of patience in my field because I never satisfy to 2%, my client and my client. But I always try to give them some options, some rationale. At the end, they will satisfy with my.
All right. And why specifically our company? What brings you there? As I understand, you are a freelancer, you're an independent designer. So why do you want to do a job now? And specifically, why in our company?
I saw there's some gap in your agency, your organization. You have a good illustration and 2D work, but you don't have that multiple talented person. It means if you will hire me, so I can drawing easily by manual. I can design a 2D. I can design a 3D design. So I have the UI UX experience. So I have the 2 and 3 multiple skills, and I have experience.
You see that door?
Yes.
Do you know what's behind that door?
No.
Do you know how many people are working behind that door?
But I came in at 2 and 3 guys was staying over there.
No, you did not come to there. You came to there. There's at least 60 designers, and they are pass outs of the country's top design universities. You're saying that perhaps our designs, our work is substandard and you can fix it. So can you be a little more specific about it?
I never said no. I always accept all challenges.
All right.
It doesn't matter where you are sitting in the noon, in the night, every time. I can work 24/7. I'm very passionate for my work.
All right. So you know that you are not the only candidate.
Yes.
So why should we hire you specifically? What would you bring to the company that others won't?
Simple. Because if you need any kind of design service, I have experience. Whenever you need any kind of like packaging, you need a publication.
That experience is there with every other candidate as well.
Maybe they have, but I'm fulfilled confident of myself.
But for example, if I am torn between hiring you and 3 more people, like I'm equally inclined towards 4 people, including you. What will you have that those 3 people are unlikely to have? Or let me put it another way. What will make me feel proud of hiring you rather than anyone else?
Because I'll manage all my junior and senior striking plus. Because I'm not only designer, I'm a good father, I'm a good brother. I know how to deal with the public, and I have experience.
You know that this is not a managerial position. You will be working for someone rather than people working for you.
Maybe it's a coordinator.
Would you be comfortable in that? And I'm asking because you're a freelancer, and freelancers are by nature independent by themselves.
Yes. But many of team members like copywriter, content writer, maybe they will flexible with me. They will easy work with me, especially
How can you be so sure?
Just you can.
Since you haven't worked, you have been essentially a solo worker. How can you be so sure that you will gel in well?
I'm giving the one deal. Yeah, just you can test my 2 and 3 days without pay. I will give you and you will check it my out.
But well, to be very honest, Mr. Azhar, that sounds a little desperate.
Not desperate. It's a 0% risk. Let you check my 2 and 3 days working my skills and my attitude with your team, and then you decide easily.
Let me give you one advice. No matter what the outcome of this interview is, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out what it will be, but don't avoid making that offer, because it makes you come across as someone who will go to any lengths to get a job. And you know what employers like? They don't like easy targets. They like people who give them a tough time.
I have another option. Okay, you pay me the 1 month salary. I'll join the company only 1 month. After that, you will decide myself.
Well, ordinarily, that is called a probation. It's
Probation
part-
pretty much. I'm giving only 1 month.
6.5 minutes. We have 1 month probation. So if we like the person enough, we can confirm the person within 1 month as well. So my final question to you is, Mr. Azhar. For example, you join the company and you become part of a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, 9 to 7, 8, 9 routine, following orders and following client wishes. Will there be a point where you regret your decision to step away from freelancing? And please be quick about it.
No issue. I'll manage your work and task.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azhar. Don't call us, we will call you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azhar. So let me admit that I tried to give you a tough time, but yes, I could not succeed. So congratulations on that performance. And our next speaker is, let me see. Oh, it is me. All right. So Toastmaster Muzammil, please introduce my project.
Yes. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so our next speaker is DTM Thala, and DTM Thala is doing his pathway effective coaching, reflect on your paths, and his speech title is The Day the Buffalo Flew. So DTM Talha, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. All right. So the time for this is 10 to 12 minutes.
Just a minute.
The other day, I walked into my favorite cafe and they had a new item on the menu. I was thrilled to see it. It was called buffalo wings. I didn't know buffaloes could fly. I didn't know they had wings. And just imagine to be able to eat the wings of a buffalo. Wouldn't that be divine? So I sat down and I promptly ordered buffalo wings. 15 minutes later, the waiter came and they brought a small plate. A plate so small that it couldn't contain a buffalo wing, let alone any other part of the buffalo. I was curious. I asked him, "Are these buffalo wings?" He said, "Yes." I picked one up and I broke it. It turned out to be a chicken wing. I went into full Karen mode and I told him, "I want to see your manager." "Sir, is everything all right?" "Oh yes, everything is fine. I just want to see your manager." So the manager came, "Sir, is there a problem?" "Of course there's a problem. You are deceiving people." "How?" "You are selling something called buffalo wings when in reality they are chicken wings." The restaurant manager did not say a word. Instead, they called security. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when I was starting this path, effective coaching, I aimed to fly. If you imagine I sprout wings and start flying, you can imagine a buffalo flying. And why was that? Because every time one starts a path, one always commits to themselves that this time, this will be the time where every speech will be a masterpiece. I will finally craft each and every word, and I will enthrall the audience with each and every speech. I will walk away with the Best Speaker Award in every detail. Then you start searching for buffaloes with wings, and you realize that buffaloes don't have wings. So you have to settle for chicken wings. And when you're foraging for chicken wings, you learn that it's all about compromise. You can spend 3 months crafting a speech and crash and burn at speech day, or you can spend a week crafting a speech and do an okay performance. After all, buffalo wings are not bad. They're just named after the sauce they come with and not the protein they consist of. I had a very memorable icebreaker with this part. In fact, I had 2 icebreakers. One icebreaker was delivered at Harvard Toastmasters Club in Urdu, and one icebreaker was delivered only recently at Leadership Speak, a worldwide event where it was sort of an international championship of icebreakers. And I decided that since it was an international audience, I had to make the buffalo fly somehow. So I arranged a beautiful virtual background for my presentation that covered all phases of my life with photos. I stood before them and I delivered my icebreaker. I added some elements of fantasy and absurdity to that icebreaker because I so desperately wanted to win. That meeting consisted of district leaders and former leaders from all around the globe. And one thing was for sure, you could not grab their attention and the judge's attention unless they saw a flying buffalo. And so I delivered the speech. It was an interesting challenge. I, for the first time, experienced the fear and trepidation that I experienced at the time of my first icebreaker in this club. And it was constructive. I received a good feedback, and I also won 3rd place. it was shared with another third place winner, which means that it was essentially a fourth place, but who cares? I enjoyed the experience. Then I had to deliver something about vocal variety and body language. And I could think of only one thing that elicits unadulterated vocal variety and body language in me. Lizards. Whenever I see a lizard, is my vocal variety, and this is my body language. And so I made a speech out of it, out of a real life experience where a lizard was killed inside the pedestal fan while I was sleeping in that same bedroom. And my family, seeing the drama, deserted me and shifted to the other room and left me alone with the corpse of the lizard. And it was a harrowing experience. And then it was time for level 2, understand your communication style, understand your leadership style. And I will just highlight one, understand your communication style. I decided to do that speech in the style of a contest. So I constructed a whole story where I equated our lives to a forest of silence. We spend all our lives reluctant to speak, reluctant to share our opinion, even in meetings, in corporate meetings, in friends gatherings. We feel reluctant to voice our opinion. And that is actually the forest of silence that we live in. And the longer we stay silent, the greater the monster in the forest grows until it eats us whole and we become silent for life. So speaking up is actually about slaying that monster. Once you speak up, that monster reduces in size and disappears. Then there was a very interesting project delivered in an even more interesting manner. It was about reaching consensus. I was supposed to conduct a panel discussion. And guess the topic I selected for the panel discussion. Waking all of you up. I mean, waking the members of Karachi Toastmasters Club up, being the VP Education of Karachi Toastmasters Club. Because if there's one thing that is the bane of existence of every VP Education's life, it is members not responding. And so I arranged a whole panel discussion around it. But as luck would have it, I was not available to attend the meeting in person. And I decided to attend it online from my home. But then some household chores sprang up. So I had to leave home and travel within the city in my car. The whole panel discussion was conducted from within the car. And I don't know about the audience, I don't know about the panelists. I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed the experience because every time I wanted to cut someone off, I could just say, oh, your voice is breaking up. There's some connectivity issue. Every time I wanted to interrupt someone, I could just pretend I wasn't hearing them. But jokes apart, it was a really constructive exercise. And thanks to the panelists, I really did learn a few new techniques towards engaging members. And I'm trying to put them to use. So this was the highlight of level 3. And level 4 was even more interesting because in level 4, I got to speak and do a project that was all about persuasion. Persuading a different audience of a strange club about a point that I was trying to make. And experienced Toastmasters know that sometimes when you change your audience, it really helps you break the envelope that you have subconsciously caged yourself in. So, having a different audience and facing their questions was a completely refreshing experience because each one of us needs to start from zero once in a while. Sometimes we get too comfortable in our skins. And sometimes we think that it's impossible for buffaloes to fly. But if buffalo wings can exist, it means that buffaloes in some universe can fly. Am I right? Then came level 5 and my high performance leadership project. And many of you know that I'm trying to launch 3 clubs, which are concept clubs, and my high performance leadership project spans that effort. Suddenly, in the midst of that project, I had an epiphany. And that was that the power of one is great, but sometimes it doesn't pay for you to be a pariah, because then you don't have the help that you need and require. And so I created not 1, not 2, but 3 teams and pitted them against each other. Let's see which team succeeds in chartering the club first. And that was a really innovative experience that I had and I'm still having. That was my high performance leadership project. And then I delivered my keynote speech right in this club. And that was centered around how throughout our lives we are shown a carrot and a stick. The carrot is used to motivate us and stick is used to keep us within our paths, until one day we realize there is no carrot. There are only sticks. But you have to channelize that realization into creating a carrot for yourself. And if it's getting weird, it is because it is. You need to have heard that speech in order to make sense of it. I'm sorry, I cannot repeat that for you, but you can log on to our YouTube account and click like and subscribe to see that speech. And finally, the capstone of the whole experience, conducting 3 coaching sessions. I thought I'd learned nothing about coaching, but when I conducted 3 sessions for District 21 about club sponsorship, mentorship, and coaching, I realized it was all worthwhile. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much. That was such an amazing speech, DTM Talha. Like, how come these people are not paying you to listen to you? You should charge them. That was absolutely fantastic. That was the best speech I've ever heard. So now I pity the person who will follow this amazing speech. And he knows who he is because he challenged me. He's doing the same project. So Toastmaster, I'm putting you on the spot by passing these remarks. All right. And you know I don't mean any of that. So Toastmaster Asghar, for those who don't know, he is without a doubt one of our most eloquent and creative students. He manages to stun with his eloquence, with his ideas, with his fresh thought in every speech that he makes. Today, he will be reflecting on his path as well. And his evaluator is DTM Sarfraz Aziz. So over to you, DTM Sarfraz.
Thank you, DTM Talha. It is my honor to introduce to you our next speaker, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. He has completed 5 levels of presentation mastery. And today he will deliver his final speech for the pathway, Reflect on Your Path. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Asghar to reflect on his growth during the completion of an entire path. The purpose of this speech is for him to share some aspect of his growth during the completion of a path. The title of his speech, The Story of My Journey. The Story of My Journey. Please welcome Muhammad Asghar.
Madam President, dear Toastmasters, and our today's special guest. My journey with Toastmaster Club, like all journeys of my life, was full of indecision, hesitation, and confusion till very recently. I never wanted to join clubs or groups like Toastmasters or even upskilling myself in journal. The reason was simple. I didn't think I had needed it. I had been working with the colleagues, people, and the common people. All of them were required to always talk one another. So, facing with full gaze of public, I thought I had all the skills. Something, however, are now reasonably clear. I thought I had grown up. But after being being introduced with Toastmasters, there was nothing to suggest that this had been the case. Of course, the reality was and is that no one has all the skills he or she needs. And there is always a room at the top for improvement. This is what I have observed, experienced, and learned during my Toastmaster journey. The club meeting allowed me to refine my techniques and avoid common mistakes I hadn't even realized that I was making, like badly pronouncing everyday vocabularies, speaking monotonously, and that too with grammatical errors. Attending my first Toastmaster meeting was not easy. It was full of fear and doubts. I vividly remembered my first day. I had come to see what this club was all about. I drove towards the beach luxury, but those who are familiar with the geographia, instead of taking left towards the hotel building, I drove straight, took a U-turn, and went back to home. But somehow I put my courage to come back the next week. After reaching the venue, this time, what I saw was horrific. An innocent man was struggling to speak, and everyone was gazing him with pin-drop silence, as if he was being offered water before being slaughtered. Once again, I left the venue. It was only after much efforts I actually attended the meeting, and the rest, as they say, is history. But after the meeting, joining the club, I no longer looked worried what I had once been. Now lots of water flowed under the proverbial bridge. My journey is now almost 4 years old. Today is the formal end of my presentation mastery pathway. The projects on this path forced me to focus on learning how an audience responds to me and improve my connection with the audience member. But one of the biggest area of growth during this pathway was my writing, which is something not directly connected and merely a byproduct of my pathway journey. Like all Toastmasters, I improved my ability to craft speech as per purpose of the project and the presentation mastery that delivered maximum impact. And like all pathways, it helped me in all aspects of the speech. I followed the guideline of the evaluation sheet, how my structure should progress logically, for example, how my transitions are clearer, how my sentences are well connected. And the same is went for my content. I never realized or thought about the appropriate use of description, invoking imageries, reasoning, logic, humor to get my message across. The way the pathway and projects designs covers everything that made it all possible. Each meeting with the club or a new project or a role was a new learning experience for me. Toastmaster Club, in short, was what no one else had been to push forward me in terms of building my confidence. It was what I needed to move my professional life. What I learned from Toastmaster, I'm now utilizing them in my practical life. The most important thing, surprisingly, which I learned to say is the nastiest thing in the nicest way in any conversational setup or scenario. Toastmaster, for example, taught me to be compassionate, reassuring, diplomatic, but truthful. Believe me, these are not the abstract ideas. I have seen Toastmasters practicing them in journal evaluation segment. And with the passage of time, I also internalized some of them and now practice them as evaluator or in any other role assigned to me from Toastmaster Club. Moreover, unlike what Toastmaster organization claims, it was an opportunity for me to improve my English conversation skill by practicing the language over and over in the meeting. English language, coming from a vernacular education system, English language was alien to me during my formative years, which later demanded extra efforts to catch it up. The club, believe me, provided much needed opportunity and environment for these efforts. Learning in Toastmasters mean more than speeches and evaluation. The word of the day, for example, was a chance for me to expand my working vocabulary with supportive individuals who were also learning. Today, we are using the word pariah. I have been thinking all along to use it, and I promise to you to do it by the end of my speech. Similarly, Toastmaster did a good job by telling me not to use the filler words and be comfortable with silence whenever it needs. It told me that I should not fill every moment that is coming coming during my speech. And recently, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab took this role to the new height. And as a consequence, we all become more serious about about avoiding the filler words. However, today, DTM Sarfraz will test our ability, what we have done during the meeting. And I was also fearful about the grammarian and being in the grammarian role, as my own grammar needs urgent and serious attention. But it was good to see, learn, and experience that grammarian is basically there to identify our trouble spot, not to scold the speaker like me for making mistakes. Now, filling the grammarian role was also made me more aware about my own limitation. Believe me. For example, while listening DTM Sarfaraz and DTM Tala in a weave to find out their grammatical mistake as grammarian, my efforts often ended up correcting my own mistakes. Dear Toastmasters, unlike other Toastmasters, I have observed different clubs and groups. I found all of them exclusionary. Any private individual is pariah to the environment of that meeting. They are considered to be the close meeting. But Toastmaster doesn't belong to any elite or special group. It is people's party. I'm sorry. It is a people's organization. Toastmasters create subculture of camaraderie across the globe, including KTC. It is good to note that this club, KTC, successfully created a climate that we are all equal, or we are all in this together. Now, I have interacted almost all of you, or at least majority of you, during my pathway journey, and most of you were happen to be either my evaluator or the target speaker to be evaluated by me. Both roles not only helped me to improve my skill, but also helped me to highlight areas where I need further improvement, such as vocal variety, pronunciation, grammar, and a little bit of stage crafting. Now, talking about my area of improvement, vocal variety, perhaps the area which has been mentioned by all evaluators almost all the time, but the same is still persisting. Lately, I started to seriously work around it. And again, taking the guidelines from the evaluation sheet, I divided my vocal variety into pitch, rate, volume, pace, and rhythm. I found that the tone is the biggest area of growth during the pathway. And currently, I am, to borrow a phrase from DTM, confronting this monster and trying to reduce the size of this monster. Now, before ending, today is the completion of my third pathway. I would like to thankful this incredible journey of amazing personal growth with presentation mastery. And I would like to express my gratitude, not only to this wonderful organization, but all of you, the Toastmasters, being the enablers along this pathway. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asghar. Just give me a second. Okay, where is that? Yeah. So, thank you so much, Toastmaster Asghar. Of course, as everyone saw, you displayed all the linguistic skill and creativity that you're famous for, even during this speech. And sometimes it becomes a challenge, let me tell you, when you are doing this for the fourth or fifth time, reflect on your path, you struggle to think of a novel or creative way to deliver this speech. And it is to the utmost credit of a Toastmaster like Toastmaster Asghar that he manages to deliver even these repetitive projects with creativity so that they sound new every time. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Bijar Khan, and his evaluator is BTM Sajway.
Bijar with B.
Yes, Bijar with capital B. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Hamid, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. My speaker did not give me the speech sheet, but yes, I do have it. So my speaker, Toastmaster Bijar, will be delivering a project, introduction to vocal variety and or body language. He'll be working on only vocal variety, which is the purpose of the project. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety to enhance the speech. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. So over to you, Toastmaster Bijar.
Toastmaster side.
Which are with these.
Right. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'll repeat my name. My name is Bijar Khan. I see a lot of guests over here. A few familiar faces online. I am seeing Faheem Razak after a very long time. So, hello, mentor. Right. So, today I'll be talking about my workplace, and as Toastmaster Azhar mentioned, vocal variety is one of the most challenging aspects to cover, because I think he mentioned pitch, rate, voice, a lot of details. I haven't gone into those details, but let's see how this goes. So my topic today is about my workplace and organization that I work with. Who over here knows who Michael Jordan is?
Basketball player.
Yes, basketball player. He once said, talent wins games, but championships are won by teamwork and intellect. Today, I'll be talking about my workplace. In 2020, I was working at TCS Private Limited. Around February, March was the time when COVID-19 hit and offices suddenly started closing down, right? But within a few months, we were back up running. We had a hybrid work model where we used to go to office 3 days a week and 2 days we used to work from home. Around August, I got another job offer from Google Pakistan. And so far, everything seemed fine. As soon as I signed the offer letter, all hell broke loose. Offices closed down. A complete travel ban was imposed across all the organizations that I could think of, including mine. Now, keep in mind that I was working in sales, and a travel ban, and I could not meet my clients. I could not meet anyone that I knew. I start off the year in such a way. Am I audible?
Yes.
And to top this off, I work in digital marketing, right? And we need a laptop to be able to access all of the documents that I have. With this travel ban, with everything that is going on here, for the first 5 months that I was there, I was operating on my personal laptop because my official laptop had not arrived. And to top this, there are certain security features that only the official laptop has. So I was working from my very old email ID, bijar88@gmail.com, without any access to any software. I was really upset about this. I spoke to my manager and he said, let's wait for a few months. For the first 1 month, I heard stories that somebody from Singapore will bring my laptop with me. And I was excited about it. And I trusted that judgment. 30 days passed by. After 30 days, the update that I got, sorry, nobody traveling from Singapore. Then another story came in. This time, India, which most of us are not big fans of, a laptop was supposed to come from India because India has a huge Google presence. Right. 30 days passed by, 60 days passed by. Another email. Sorry, we are unable to deliver to Pakistan due to logistical challenges. By now, I had given up. I had thought I'd buy my own laptop, whatever that might be. Then a final story came in that laptop was not coming in anywhere from Asia, but instead it was coming from Europe, Netherlands. This time, thank God, it finally did arrive. So first 5 months, like after 5 months of my joining, I received my official laptop with the right machine. I had become a legend in my organization for working 5 months without my official laptop.
Yeah. So, all in all, this year, I waited 5 months for the laptop. 1.5 years had passed. We had even moved to 2023 for that matter. And I had not met my clients in real time. All of my meetings had been face-to-face in an online environment. And please bear in mind that I work in sales. So it was a very challenging experience for me. Within this 1.5 years, the very first time that I met my boss was in July of this year, 2023. Imagine working in an organization where you've never met your line manager. By the way, my line manager's name is Ghulam Kibriya. He is originally from Bangladesh, but he's been in Singapore for about 6 years now. During the same meetings, I also met my clients for the very first time. And you know what hit me? The realization that how important human interaction is. It energizes you. You talk about business, you talk about corporate affairs, you talk about lunch and dinner and whatnot, and it gives you so much energy. I came back from Islamabad after meeting my manager, after meeting my clients, came back to Karachi. After that, we were told to go to our offices, actually start going to our offices. And I started commuting to Dolphin Mall, Clifton, where my office is. It's not inside the mall, so please. And I started breaking bread and having lunch with my other colleagues who work in other teams. And it felt good to be around them. We used to have discussions around corporate affairs, around strategy, around client personalities. Who is the worst client? Who is the best client? And even though they used to have anda paratha every other day, and I used to have a relatively healthy breakfast, I still enjoyed baking bread with them. So all in all, I learned in this that a hybrid work model works great. Human interaction is key. You cannot isolate yourself in another corner away from other human beings. And that will be all. Thank you everyone for it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bijar. And that brings our prepared speeches session to an end. One of our speakers is stuck in an emergency. He may or may not be able to deliver a speech. If he does join, we will give him a chance to speak. So in the meantime, Mr. Timer, have all the speakers qualified?
Except Toastmasters. 12 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 seconds, 30 minutes.
13 minutes, and the time was 12 minutes. All right. Toastmaster Asghar, thank you for making it so easy, because today he told me that, he won't let me win the best speaker, but I believe every other speaker is much relieved to hear that. So apologies, Toastmaster Asghar. I will be sharing the poll for best speaker in a while. And in the meantime, let's return to our theme, power of one, the power of introverts. Imagine some of the most respected figures in history. And you don't have to be a religious figure or a religious-minded person to admire the life histories of the prophets. Even if someone does not believe in them, as a concept of a human being, they are universally respected and admired. So Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Moses, what was common amongst all of them? They were not extroverts. None of them was an extrovert. They found God when they moved away from crowds. That was the reason they were granted. And yes, That brings us to a second more vital portion of the whole introvert experience. Just like I'm standing here right now, talking to all of you and hiding my fear and feeling reasonably comfortable, it is easy for introverts to switch temporarily to a mode called extroversion when the situation requires for it. So, when the prophets were granted the scriptures or the teachings, they came back to the people and they switched. They became extroverts. But note that they became extroverts for a limited period within their days. It was not 24/7 merry-go-round in their houses of people coming and going. There were times when they preferred to be left alone, and those times were strictly observed. Similarly, any introvert can become an extrovert if the situation calls for it. But for it to happen in the other direction, extroverts becoming introverts, at least I haven't seen such examples. So the point is not to declare one style better than the other. Absolutely not. The point is that there's a place for both modes of existence in this world, and everybody does their job according to their inclination. So with that, let me welcome our table topics master for today, who is DTM Sarfraz Nazir. He requires no introduction. And even if he did, if you don't know him well enough, by the end of his table topic session, you will learn everything about him. So put your hands together for DTM Sarfraz Nazir.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Mohammed, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm glad to be the table topics master, because as table topics master, you know one thing for sure, that you will not be called upon to answer a table topics question. Fellow Toastmasters, one of the most exciting portions of the Toastmasters meeting is the table topics session, even though some of us are afraid of it. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on their feet. Well, these days we don't think on our feet. I might say think on our cushion. We also like to give every member a chance to speak. Those who do not have major roles, those who are not speakers or evaluators, get a chance to say a few words. Table topics is designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. The response is 1 to 2 minutes. Green light is at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, red at 2, and then you have 30 seconds to wrap up your response. Today's topics are in line with the theme, the power of one. In other words, it's a debate. You won't be debating with another member, you will be debating with yourself. I will give you a topic, and when the green light comes on, when you have been speaking for 1 minute, you will switch your sides from for the topic to against the topic. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, para. So first table topic speaker, Toastmaster Salman Memon, are you ready?
Yes, he's ready.
Okay, Toastmaster Salman, please pick a number from 1 to 5.
Pick number 15.
Please pick a number 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, whichever number, and that'll be your topic.
Which number? Second. 2.
Number 2? Okay, number 2. Toastmaster Salman, your topic. Listening is better than speaking. Listening is better than speaking. You will speak for this topic for 1 minute. When green light comes on, then you will switch and speak against it. listening is better than speaking. Toastmaster Salman Memon.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Listening is better than speaking. First you listen, then you process the things. So I think listening is the best policy for to speak up, because when you speak up, you don't have the ball in your court. That's why I'm giving this. Always there a fear factor involved, but you can't eliminate that, but you try to mitigate that thing. So I think the listening is better than speaking.
Carry on, carry on, carry on.
So switch, yeah.
Okay. Yes, yes, yeah. Speaking. I'm confused. Speaking, don't think.
Any good points about speaking? Or why should one learn the skills of speaking?
Speaking, try to communicate. Speaking is the better way. Only listening doesn't help you to communicate or engage with the people you know or you don't know. So I think speaking is the best way to comfort yourself in any gathering.
Everyone,
Thank you.
please
Thank you,
vote
Toastmaster Salman Memon. Appreciate your response. Is Toastmaster Hamza Chatani ready? Toastmaster Hamza.
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready.
Please pick a number, 1, 3, 4, or 5.
3.
Your topic. People cannot change. People cannot change. Toastmaster Hamza.
Oh.
So you'll say a few words about people cannot change, and then you'll switch after 1 minute to that people can change.
Usually we meet people in our life which are trustworthy, and we usually trust on them and share certain, secrets and our daily routines and something like that. And if we trust them and we know that they won't change, they will definitely won't change. And that's the fact that it's inbuilt in their personality that if they have this behavior attitude that they won't change, they actually won't. I don't know what to say further. It's a tough topic. Give me a personal example.
Okay, can people change?
Yeah, sometimes people
Just you change.
like me, like I just talked about and that people won't change, but like I just reverted and I'm now saying that people do change. So, I don't have much to say on this topic.
Thank you. Toastmaster Faheem Razak, are you available?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, your topic is extroverts are better than introverts. Extroverts are better than introverts. Toastmaster Faheem Razak.
Thank you, DTM Sarfraz. Yeah, I definitely do believe that extroverts are better than introverts. For one thing, I think the world is designed for them. I remember the time when I think I still am to some extent an introvert, and that can sometimes hinder or block the opportunities or the social way of living the life. And in my experience so far, I have seen and I have experienced that the people who are more outgoing, have the vibrant personality, express themselves, are getting more in the life than I believe perhaps the introverts, and enjoy more in their lifetime. I'm not sure if the 1 minute is over. Do you want me to switch over?
Yes, you can switch.
Not yet. But at the same time, introverts, again, in my experience, I've seen them, they are very analytical, they are very thorough, they are very detailed, and depends what they're doing in life.
Switch. You can switch now.
I'm already so yeah. But introverts, I think introverts in many ways can sometimes be better than the extroverts, depending what the situation is. They are very analytical, as I just said. They're very thorough. So I think they need to stick to the skills that they will benefit it from. Yeah, with that, over to you, DTM Sarfraz.
Thank you, Toastmaster Faheem Razak. We have a guest, Hafiz Ibad.
Yes.
So,
He'll give you a topic.
Okay. Yes, your topic is cats are better than dogs. Cats are better than dogs.
Yes.
Hafiz.
Yes.
Hafiz Ibad.
Yes. Cats are better than dogs because if you see around our society, most of the women are attracted towards cats because they have a soft heart than men, and because of the same nature to both the creatures, and cats are actually like you may say are very safe in our houses, and they can actually create a better place for actually the loneliness person or the person who are not live with the babies in the houses. So they actually borrow or they actually feed the cats better. So now should I turn to?
Yeah, no, yeah, dogs are better than cats.
Dogs are better than cats, right? Dogs are actually more better than cats because, in my opinion, as it actually it surrounds in our circle that dogs are very like I don't have a word to say. Loyal actually. Dogs are much loyal to their owner, who actually bring a food to him one time, and they always ready to care to their owner, to the actual owner. And that's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai.
Yes, thank you.
Your topic is social media is great for success. Social media is great for success. Toastmaster Mariam Kidwai.
I am happy I am excited. That is because I have created my account on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and yes, on TikTok also. Now I can earn my own money. I can do whatever I want, and I can learn from all those things. There are many influencers. I have heard their names. And now I'm going to watch out their videos. There's so much to learn from them, and I am going to pick them. I am going to invest some of my time on that. I have to focus now. I have to be very creative in my content writing now. That should be useful. And I am going to kill it, man. I am going to add all my subscribers. I am going to have all the likes in the world. I am already all set because I think from this app, from these contents, I am going to learn a lot. And I am ready for that. I am into that. Now, the moment I realized that I am going into it, the second thought that I had was, is I am all ready to sacrifice on those things? Is I am that happy that I have to show the world to get their acknowledgement that I am happy? Is I am that positive that I need likes and subscribes to let the world know that I am positive and I am successful in my life? No. To a start, to sometimes, at a point, yes, we all are into social media. But the moment you realize you are stuck into it, you're getting more into it, that'd be hard for you to get out. That's why now I'm against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mariam. Our guest from Indonesia, ET, Toastmaster Theo, are you available?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Your topic is self-improvement books are useless. Self-improvement books are useless. Toastmaster Theo.
Gentlemen, I do believe that self-improvement books are useless because of what we are now in the digital era. We can learn not only from books, we can learn from podcasts, we can learn from YouTube channels, we can learn from the others here. We have the mentor, we have the coach, we have the speakers here. We can learn each other. So why should we learn from a book? It's totally useless. We can use the visual, we can use the audio, we can use also the audio visual from the others, from the person that have more knowledge than us, for the person that have the experience, not the barrier, the expert. We do believe that self-improvement book doesn't really help us so much. And the timer is dead. I think I reached 1 minute.
Yes,
No?
yes, you can switch.
Okay, switch. Because the timer is not showing here in mine. And then I don't believe that self-improvement books are useless. I believe that self-improvement books are useful because we learn from the masters, and the master himself is writing a book. The author is leaving a legacy to us. Remember that every single book is a masterpiece. It is the collection of memories, knowledge, expertise of the author himself. They want to have this as the legacy to their readers. So my fellow Toastmasters, readers, and leaders, self-improvement books are useful just if you read it. Back to you, TTM Sarfaras.
Thank you. Appreciate it. DTM Talha, should we end the session or we have time for one more?
So we have time for one more.
Okay. Will you please select someone from Beach Luxury Hotel?
All right. All right. Sorry, your name's Mohammed Irfan. Mohammed Irfan. So yes, sir, we have a guest here, Mohammed Irfan, sir. Please.
So is Mohammed Irfan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your topic is 3-hour Toastmasters meeting is better than 1-hour Toastmasters meeting. A 3 hours Toastmasters meeting is better than a 1-hour Toastmasters meeting. So you will speak in favor of that 3 hour meeting is better than one. And after 1 minute, you'll switch and say why a 1-hour meeting is better than 3-hour meeting.
Okay. As per my opinion, 3 hours meeting is much better than as compared to 1 hour meeting. The reason is that in 3 hours meeting, we have a more chance to interact with each other. We have a more time to discuss and ideas with each other and to listen others' presentations and the topics that, and most of the topics, I mean, many of the topics can be covered in the 3 hours meeting time, and there will be so many discussions with each other. We have much time to understand each other and to know about each other and to understand what is the purpose of the Toastmaster in detail. So the benefit of 3 hours meeting is to actually spend more time together, and as we know that in little time it is very difficult to get confidence, but when we spend so much time together, then the confidence will improve little by little, and it is much better 3 hours meeting. Now, another thing is that, as per my understanding, 1 hour is better than 3 hours. The reason is that we have actually very busy in our other activities, in our other family, appointments like family gatherings. So it is difficult to spend 3 hours here because we have so many other schedules also. So in 1 hour, actually, we can. It is better, like in 1 hour actually I mean to say that in 1 hour it becomes more interesting, because in 3 hours it becomes boring, like to listen to each other so many times. So 1 hour becomes more interesting, and so I think that it is 1 hour is also better than 3 hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed Irfan, for telling us that a 3-hour meeting is better. So this way we won't feel bad that if our meeting runs 3 hours today. Mr. Timer, did all speakers qualify? Tabletop speakers qualify?
All tabletop speakers.
So the vote counter will be
Yes, sir.
Sending the ballots.
Yes, sir. I'll be shortly sending the ballot. Mr. Timer, can you please repeat the names once again of the speakers?
Sure. First, Toastmaster Salman Neman.
Yeah.
Then Hamza Chatani.
Yeah.
Then Faheem Razak.
Right.
Then Hafiz Iqbal.
Hafiz Ibad. Yeah.
Hafiz Ibad. And Toastmaster Mariam.
Yes.
And guest Thew.
Yes.
And guest Muhammad Irfan.
Right. All right. So, all right. So, thank you so much. And here's another demonstration of the power of one. If the Toastmaster of the day and the vote counter is one, it makes transitions much more seamless and quick. So
next time you'll be the TMOD, table topic master, table topic evaluator.
yes, by extension, if all the roles are played by one person, then of course things will be that much quicker. So, so thank you, DTM Sarfraz. And I was just having a conversation with one of our members here during your table topic session. Your table topic session today was designed to make the guests run away and never come back. And for members to cancel or transfer their memberships. because for me, it was truly disorienting and really inspiring to see people change tack on the spot. And thank you for doing that, because we now see that all of us, all of the table topic speakers today can become politicians, because they can support one thing when it goes in their favor, and they can oppose that very thing when it goes against them. So what an admirable skill of display by everyone. Thank you, DTM Sarfraz, for that session. And now we will go to the third and final session, general evaluation. And for anyone who feels that the meeting is too long, please refer to our last table topics speech extolling the virtues of a 3-hour meeting, as pointed out by DTM Sarfraz. But that aside, evaluation is the crux of every Toastmasters meeting. It is what makes Toastmasters meaningful and sets itself apart. You will see, especially the guests, you will see that the way we evaluate is both constructive and insightful. And you are unlikely to find such an evaluation anywhere else. So with that, I call upon our journal evaluator of the day. But before that, I remind all evaluators that today Toastmaster Imran Rana is compiling the Critics' Choice scores. So he's taken the score from the judge, but he will receive the scores from evaluators. So all evaluators, you need to score out of 10, according to you, how strongly the speech adhered to the project objectives. And with that, I hand over the charge to another person who requires no introduction, but I'll go ahead and introduce him anyway. And he is someone who walked into this club two and a half years ago. 3 years. 3 years ago. All right, close enough. And during the intervening time, he managed to inspire us and enthrall us. He is a brave person who is always there, always present for his club, for other clubs. Even when he doesn't renew, he's always available for roles. And he is not only become a distinguished Toastmaster, but also one of our area directors for Toastmaster District 122. So everyone, please put your hands together for DTM Saad Shuaib, who also goes by Saad Arif. Confusingly, he has like 7 different names for 7 different social media platforms. So yeah, apologies if I, yeah.
So actually, I can give a whole 5 minute speech on why my name is Saad Arif and why it's Saad Shuaib. So that's for another time, but for now, fellow Toastmasters, honorable in-person and also online guests, welcome to the general evaluations session. And like I always said, it's I believe my own code. So any judge can't raise a protest like many times before. They say behind every successful man, you have a woman. But behind every successful and powerful speech, you have a very insightful feedback or an evaluation to make it happen. So that's why this session is very much important for all of us. So first we'll take the evaluation of the prepared speeches, and our first prepared speech was by distinguished Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir, and he would be evaluated by Toastmaster Hina Ali. So over to you, ma'am.
Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, General Evaluator, and good evening in particular to Toastmaster Sarfraz, or rather, good morning. So today you were giving your speech regarding creating or establishing or enhancing your social media presence. So first off, what I loved about your speech was your title, craving the likes. So that was really great. And then I really look forward to your speech. It was well structured. You had an interesting opening with rhetorical question to all of us regarding social media. What I loved was you went into talking about different types of social media. You used a simple yet effective presentation to support what you were talking about. It wasn't overly crowded, just simple messages that would stay with us. So it was not a crutch. It was actually an excellent visual aid. The other thing that I loved about your speech, as always, whatever space that you use, you always make direct eye contact with the camera. So each of us feels like you're talking to us. The voice modulation was appropriate and point on. I especially liked when you stressed about, for example, why you didn't like social media and you didn't need it to stay in touch with your friends. And having said that, within the space that you were speaking in, your movements were purposeful, your facial and hand gestures were in sync with everything you said. Now, in terms of giving you feedback, I believe there was just one thing I feel like in terms of everything that you do, that you always do well, that would be an improvement would be you were using your presentation, but the fact that you had to keep bending down to change the slide, that distracted attention from your speech. So my suggestion would be possibly if you could invest in either a remote pointer which could hold to change your slides, or ask another member who can help you based on rehearsed cues to change the slide so your presentation is smooth. Okay, so and beyond that, one of the most important things I believe that was part of the speech was understanding about how we can enhance our social media presence. I believe you use your speech very effectively, of course, to engage us as an audience, to let us know why social media isn't that important in terms of, needing or craving likes to know, people know how you're doing, what you're doing, every little thing that you're doing. Having said that, still, you're on LinkedIn, you said, and on Facebook. I believe I would like for you to challenge yourself to create a very effective and professional social media presence through which you could share your immense public speaking knowledge. You being a championship finalist for public speaking, I believe sharing your speeches and your keynotes through your own social media accounts with maybe a few write-ups could enhance your social media presence. And that wouldn't be about the likes or gains that you would get, but what the rest of us, indeed a lot of the general public who might see you, can gain from the immense knowledge that you have to share with us. So I hope that you could do that. All in all, you gave a great speech. You had great structure, beautiful eye contact. Just practice changing of the slides. And like I said, do challenge yourself to create an immense and impactful presence on social media. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hina Ali, for that insightful evaluation. So the next speaker, wow, I thought that he was a pariah for KTC, but he's not. Toastmaster Azhar Khan was the next speaker, and his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Imran Rana. So over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, DTM Sashid, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today we observe an interview session between DTM Talha, the interviewer, and the interviewee, or what we call? Yes. Toastmaster Azhar Khan. it was good to observe this interview session, and we learned a lot during a live interview session. The interview session was initially conducted in a what do we call, in a good environment. And you started quite well. You respond the questions quite confidently. The good thing about was that you answered all the questions with confidence. I'm not talking about the answers you replied, but your confidence was quite good. You have a good another good thing about your interview is that you always possess a very good smile. So that's quite an inspiring and what do we call, very interesting. And because people with a good smile never hesitate or never, what we call, never confused. So in this interview, what I had to observe that your answers should be poised and concise. Okay, what poise here means that the answers should, the reply should be elegant and should be with grace. So initially it was there. And about the concise means that all the detailed informations will be given in few words. It was there as well. But I felt that some of the questions were like pariah to you, right? They totally blown you away. So what you need to do that instead the interview session was about your marketing skills. So you need to first listen the question carefully, what the interviewer is asking for you, and then take few pause, try to gather your thoughts, just like what we learn in table topics. In table topics, where here we observe the question, the topic is given to us, and what we do, we learn here to organize our thoughts. So you need to work on that. Overall, it was quite an interesting session and quite learning interview session, especially for me. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Imran Rana, for that amazing evaluation. So the next speaker is a person who is by no means a pariah in all over the world in Toastmaster. He is distinguished Toastmaster Talab bin Hamid, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Muzammil. So over to you, Toastmaster Muzammil.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. First of all, DTM Talha, it is my privilege to evaluate you. And also I strongly feel in the power of fun. But I feel for the evaluation session, we need at least two, the second person to obviously evaluate the speaker, because the speaker himself cannot evaluate. So let's move on. And first of all, I would like to say that it was very creative of you that you thought about the idea of buffalo with the wings, and or the day the buffalo flew. It was fantastic. You explained that scene initially at the start of your speech. And other than that, I would like to admire your body language. It was, fantastic today. The way, especially, you were showing the scene that when you showed the manager was, running when you complained to that manager, and also when you ran while saying that this is my body language. So this is something I felt was different today in you. So that was very nice. I appreciate. And also you demonstrated a very good purposeful stage movement today. You were moving throughout your speech towards the right, towards the left, and you also stood at the center for quite a few minutes. So that was amazing. I mean, this shows that you know and you practice all the elements of the public speaking. Moving on, your hand gestures today were also on the mark. Let's come on to the improvement side, which I feel I noted today. That is when you brilliantly started and you transitioned well to the middle, but as you were proceeding, the pitch of your voice started sounding more of a conversational pitch. It was like conversational tone. I mean, it somehow sound monotonous. And I think you yourself noted that, because I observed that you suddenly and abruptly change your pitch and tone. So I felt that you also noted that you were going with the flow and you need to bring in some variety. So I think higher pitch and tone throughout the speech would have made your speech a big wow. Other than that, as far as the purpose of your speech project is concerned, which is to reflect on your growth and to share some aspect of your growth during the completion of entire path, you discussed all that today in your speech. So it was amazing. Great job, I would say. And this is it. Over to you, General Evaluator. DTM Saad muted. You are muted.
Apologies. Yeah. Everyone is actually requested to send the scores of the speakers to Toastmaster Imran Rana. So meanwhile, we will move on to the
Also ask for votes for the previous category.
Yes, please do feel also vote for the table topics, and I believe the audience can also vote on a piece of paper as well. So yes, please do that, and yes. Last thing, you can also vote for yourself. So don't feel guilty about this. I always do. So the next speaker was the juggernaut of Karachi Toastmaster Asghar, and he will be evaluated by another juggernaut of Karachi Toastmaster, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. So over to you, sir.
He's also the juggernaut of 5 other clubs.
Thank you, DTM Saad, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and especially you, Toastmaster Azhar. It was an honor to hear your story about your Toastmasters journey. I'm appreciative that you took us on a 4-year journey with you. First, let me tell you what I liked about your speech, and then I will give you session for improvement based upon what I observed during your presentation. I liked your organization, the story that you told us, how you were afraid to attend a Toastmasters meeting, that you went or tried to attend a meeting and you were not able to. You attended, but you didn't stay. Finally, you made it. And then how you went through your improvements. You took us through the various hats that Toastmasters wear, from fear of speaking to not only improving your speaking, but also your writing skills, being a grammarian and a word master. You talked about how it improved your vocabulary. You also went into the filler words. Not only you talked about the R counter, you added Toastmaster Mariam Aftab and today's R counter. Then you went into evaluation and what it means to be an evaluator. So I like the journey that you described and the roles of Toastmasters that you described. I also liked your passion, You were animated. Not only you were telling us about your journey, but we knew that you were excited about telling about what has happened to you in Toastmasters and what you have gained from Toastmasters. The third thing I liked about your presentation was your use of hands. When you said there is always room for improvement, you looked up and you raised your hand. I like that. Now, how can you improve? One thing that I heard you say was that you were driving to beach luxury hotel. Instead of turning left, you went straight. Then you took a U-turn and went home. That was an opportunity for humor. You could have said that you were about to take left, but somehow you ended up passing the left turn. And then you took that as a sign from God. Maybe you're not ready to attend a Toastmaster meeting, and you went home. Also, I noticed that you had a lot of hand gestures, but you used your right hand most of the time. For a moment, I wondered what happened to your left hand. So it'd be nice once in a while you raise both hands so we can see the gestures of when you're using both hands. I liked your presentation because of your story, your organization, your use of hands, your animation, your excitement, your passion. And if you can add some humor and use both hands, you'll be a great speaker. Thank you for your speech. And now back to General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM Sarfraz Nazir sir. And now finally, the final speaker of the day was actually Toastmaster Bijar with a B Khan, and he would be evaluated by another person from who's also a digital marketing professional. So yeah, match made in heaven.
Send your CV.
No, my boss is actually right here. So yeah, I can't do that.
Both of you, please send.
Yeah, both. Yeah. So let's begin. Toastmaster Bijar, you came, you saw everyone, and you conquered the stage. Well done on beginning by asking by actually asking a question which caught the eyes of the audience, and eyes, ears, attention, everything, because I believe everyone in person and also online know Michael Jordan is, but you actually mentioned it to catch everyone's attention. You used the pauses extremely well. Throughout your speech, your pauses kept us hooked that what's about to come next. You explained your journey from Pakistan and all the way to Google and all over the world. So that was an inspiring story, at least for me, because we are actually in the same line of work. Your eye contact was fixed on the camera, not at me, but yes, it was fixed on the camera, and you weren't looking left or right. Maybe you can look at the in-person audience as well, but your point of focus was the camera. And yes, now for some points you may work upon. Your speech was mostly at a high pitch. You were speaking from your lungs, I believe, which is I believe a natural way where you communicate, but the objective was vocal variety, to go up and down and everything. Your speech had many role plays, like the emails and the talks, conversation. And that would have been perfect to use those vocal variety, like sorry, no laptop available. Like when you express that you were upset, just act like you are upset, not like I was upset. That's not the way to be upset. But your body language was extremely amazing. Your gestures, your movement, your eye contact, everything was perfect. So I believe it was a perfect speech for body language, not the vocal variety. So well done.
More feedback on vocal variety.
After the meeting. So yes. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sir. That was a very nice evaluation. So moving on, that was the last. Yeah. So I know the word because
sorry. Yeah. You of all people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mr. Timer have all the speakers have qualified.
No,
I
2%
think-
are
Yes.
disqualified.
One is me and-
Toastmaster Hina took 4 minutes 3 seconds,
And
and so Toastmaster Sarkir took 3 minutes 38 seconds.
Disqualified. Okay, so everyone, you need to cast your vote for the evaluators. The first one was Toastmaster Hina. The second one was Toastmaster Imran Rana. The third one was Toastmaster Muzammil.
I'm disqualified.
Okay. We remember. So the fourth one was DTM Sarfaraz. The fifth one was Toastmaster Asghar. No, sorry. That's all because Toastmaster Saad wanted to speak about something that was not even a part of the project. So thank you very much, Saad. You're also disqualified. So the next part is the table topics evaluation, and that will be played by the usual suspect, Toastmaster Vase, who is online. So over to you, Vase.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. I have been showing up for like last 2 months. I guess it doesn't make me a pariah in English or a pariah in Urdu. But I didn't knew that I have to evaluate 7 table topic speakers today. It feels like a revenge, I would say. This is the first time I'm evaluating a table topic evaluation session, and this comes up. So good luck to me. Okay, but the first speaker was Salman Naiman. Salman Naiman, your topic was listening is better than speaking. And you came up with some really strong points. Like you cannot be speaking if you cannot be listening. Like if you cannot listen, you cannot speak. That's true of it. What I would say is that you have to realize this, that you came over this hesitation of being stuck, which is a big thing. You got stuck lately, but you came over this stickness, and which is a really big thing. So I would say keep speaking, and don't be, don't get nervous by thinking this, that I cannot speak again or something like that. Right. The next speaker was Hamza Chatani, if I'm right. Hamza Chatani, people cannot change if they think they won't change. That was the topic, and you had the strongest point of the topic. that if you think that people won't change, they won't change. And one thing I realized was that your hands were tied up and your thumbs were going like this, which shows nervousness. And when you started, your hands were tied back and you started with your eyes down. Again, this shows nervousness. But again, this won't change if you think it won't change. So keep working on this and it will definitely change. The next speaker I have was Toastmaster Faheem Razak. Faheem Razak. I didn't think that he would come up like this. Extroverts are better than introverts. Okay. And I realized this that he is not extrovert and at heart. He had a point that he had to express himself. They had more opportunity. But again, he had the strongest point for introverts because he's an introvert at his heart. They are introverts are analytical and they are thorough and they have to stick to their skills. Faheem Razak was not standing up. That was the problem. Then we have the speaker, Hafiz Ibad. Hafiz Ibad, your hands were tied up, I would say. But one thing that was really great was that you had nice smile and you kept your eyes, and you kept yourself composed and you didn't lose your temper. Then it was Mariam Aftab Kidwai. Sorry, I would continue even if you show your red light. Sorry. I'll continue. Mariam Aftab Kidwai, there was a lot more, there was a lot of things to learn from you. First, how you started your speech, and then there was a lot of vocal variety. When you started, you were excited, and when you slowed down, then you had this sadness in yourself. Then how smoothly you switch between those topics, there was a lot of things to learn from this. And the thing is that, as you said, you killed it. And again, self-reflection point was also really important. Then there was guest Theo, energy, excellence, and energetic. You reflected all these three things. And you were right. Digital era. How can you use books in this digital era? You have to use YouTube and other things. But again, you said readers are the leaders. Sorry, Mohammad Irfan, again, you were right about this thing that 3 hours meeting is quite boring. It gets boring. But again, we have to discuss things, right? To get evaluated and to improve ourselves. So that's why we have to do 3-hour things. But for the thing that you were moving with a composed stature, and again, your hands were open, which shows you have a lot of potential as a speaker. So I would say keep speaking. And that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vasir, for absolutely killing it with your evaluation and also totally ignoring the timer. So that's actually something that not all of us can do. So now let's move on to the role holders board. The first one is our regular grammarian and the word master, who is Toastmaster Muzammil. So over to you, Muzammil.
Thank you so much, TTM Saad. Okay, so as a grammarian, I would like to report that I noted a wrong pronunciation of one word today. Can anybody guess that what word could that be? I mean, just for the sake of
word of the day.
Yes. So someone wrongly pronounced word of the day, which is pariah. So the correct pronunciation is pariah. So keep in mind that. And other than that, language was completely spot on today, and there were no more grammatical errors. Okay, so and also I would like to report some good words which I feel were used by some of our speakers. So DTM Tala used divine and illicit, and Toastmaster Asghar used vividly, and Toastmaster Asghar was also said something nice, which is he said nastiest thing in a nicest way. So that was a nice sentence, I feel. And also moving on, as a word master, I would like to report that word of the day was used by DTM Tala twice, DTM Sarfraz once, Toastmaster Asghar once, DTM Saad once, Toastmaster Imran Rana once, Toastmaster Wase once. This is it. Over to you, DTM Saad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Muzammil. So moving on, wow. For the R counter report, we have DTM Sarfraz Nazir. This will be exciting. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, DTM Saad, once again, fellow Toastmasters. I'm pleased to announce that in Karachi Toastmasters, we don't use ums, ers, likes, but we are great in using so. DTM Talha Hamid had 1 R and 3 so's, and I repeat, pay you. Azhar Khan had 1 R, 1 so, I repeat, many people. And he also said 1 month's salary. Now you might say that's not a filler word, but I think it's a filler word. In an interview, you never ever ask for 1 month's salary if you're looking for a job. Because the purpose is you tell them what you are willing to give them. You say, hey, I'll bring some money for you guys, the cake every Friday. Anyway, next was Muhammad Muzammil, 2 R's, 1 so, other than that. Repeats. Muhammad Asghar, 4 R's, 1 so. Salman Memon, 2 R's, you know. Faheem Razak, 2 R's, 1 Maryam Aftab Kedwai, 1 so. Muhammad Irfan, several R's, and Toastmaster Inal, 3 R's and 3 Saad Shoaib, 1 R, 2 so's. Imran Rana, 2 R's and 1 so. Wase Ahmed, 2 so's, and you know. Back to you, General Evaluator DTM Saad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DTM Sarfraz, for that, I would say, politest R counter report I've actually heard in a very long time. So the next, see again, so we're all fond of that.
Yeah.
The next role holder is the timer, who is Toastmaster Azhar Khan. So over to you, Toastmaster Azhar, for the report. Thank you, line.
Usually I told you I will
Speak up.
Okay.
Or please not go there.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First, as a speaker, only Toastmaster Asghar disqualified. It took around 30 minutes. And in tabletop session, almost all clear. But in general evaluation, Toastmaster took 4 minutes, 3 seconds. He was disqualified. And another guy is Sashir. He took 3 minutes, 38 seconds. He was disqualified. Otherwise, all role players members are qualified. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Azhar, for only mentioning a few people in your report. I feel honored to be one of them. So the next role holder is our president, Toastmaster Hiba Rais, for the listener report. So over to you, Madam President.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, you all know what the listener does. So who spoke once in a blue moon?
DTM Talha.
DTM?
Talha?
No.
Toastmaster Bijar.
DTM Sarfaraz.
Yes. How smoothly you switch between topics?
Wase.
Yes. Yes. He manages to inspire and enthrall us. He manages to inspire and enthrall us.
Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid.
Yes. And the last one, in general, I'm not a fan of social media.
Maria Aftab.
No.
Sarfaraz. DTM Sarfaraz.
DTM Sarfaraz.
Yes. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam President, Toastmaster Evaluator Khan. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's now time for my apologies. Before that, please still vote for the best role holder. So, vote counter, are the votes ready?
Yes, they are ready.
And you will get the votes shortly. Those who don't have the access to our WhatsApp, they can vote on a piece of paper and send it to DTM Talha bin Hamid. So the role holders were Toastmaster Muzammil, Toastmaster Azhar Khan, DTM Sarfaraz, and Toastmaster Hibaris Khan. And also the vote counter DTM Talha bin Hamid. So yes. So now for my own general evaluation. The meeting may or may not have began on time because as always I was caught in traffic and yes, it was. If you don't believe me, just ask my boss who's right there. So yes.
Boss is always right.
Yeah, like they say. So you see again, so we are very much used to of this. I witnessed two speeches, actually three speeches, which were absolutely mind blowing. Two reflects on your path, which is very much insightful for the first timer and the guest to know what happened in a pathway of Toastmaster. Then we had the massacre in the table topics, which was by far the most challenging table topic I've seen in a very long time. But the speaker handled it marvelously. Each and everyone who came here knew what to say and how to say it. Just one thing which I'll say maybe next time we can call the members or the regular guests first, so the guests and the new members can know how to proceed with the table topics. So maybe Toastmaster Faheem or Toastmaster Mariam could have been called first before the guests. So just one observation. The evaluators spoke with sandwich approach, which is recommended in Toastmasters, and it actually also ensures that we don't feel bad after our speech. And of course, the role holders were spot on with their report. The table topic evaluator ignored the timer and just kept on speaking, which is actually good because I remember when I was attending my first meeting at Toastmaster. It was not the speech that made me the member. It was not the table topic that made me a member. It was actually the table topic evaluation which made me a member. So that's very much important. But yes, I've also told already told the point to work upon, and before we all get bored. So that's it from my side. It's back to you, Toastmaster, the day we camp 11.
Thank you so much, Faheem sir. And let me take this opportunity to remind all of you to please vote. There are too few votes. So the votes are there in the Zoom chat box. They're also there in the club's WhatsApp group. And if some guests want to vote here who are not present on either, they can put their votes on a piece of paper. So the votes are for best prepared speaker, best evaluator, best role player, best facilitator rather, and best table topic speaker so far. So finally, we are winding up, at least trying to, and we are at the end of the TMOD session, which is my session, and we will finish with one more example of the power of one. Those of us who are into music or have heard music at one point or another, we know that there are solo artists and there are bands, and usually bands are considered more legendary and they are more a part of history of music versus solo artists, although that can be debatable. But if you see top 10 lists, especially for Western music, top 100 artists, top 50 artists, most important artists, you'll mostly find bands. So it seems to defeat the whole theme of the power of one, because here a band is creating music, but within that band, there is one person who is actually the brain. They write the music, they write the lyrics. That's usually one person. And that's usually a tortured soul, precisely because he or she is one. He or she is an introvert. So great art emerges from misery, whether it's Van Gogh living in isolation in that mental institution, or it's a tortured soul leading a rock band and buying into the whole celebrity lifestyle while pretending to hate it, and then ODing on drugs and somehow painting themselves as the victim. To this day, I don't get how is that supposed to be. But that's the way the world is these days. Someone doesn't overdose on drugs, they die as a result of too many substances. Someone doesn't kill themselves anymore, they die by suicide. So whatever that is, but that apart, there's always a tortured soul at the center of great art. And that is one proof of the power of one. So with that, I end the session and ask all of you to vote for the best big four. The vote will be floated in a few seconds. And I now hand over the charge to our president, Toastmaster Khan.
Okay, that was quite an interesting meeting with thank God we ended almost on time. So So can we have some comments from the guest, physically present guests in the meeting?
Yes, please, sir, please come on the stage and share your thoughts. And after that, you can come and you
Hamza here. It was a great session and definitely will provide an opportunity for great learning opportunity for us to communicate, interact with others, and learn something from others. So yeah, I will try to join the next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mr. Irfan. Please share your thoughts.
It's really a very good session from a learning perspective, and we interact with each other, and the evaluation that is given by the experts like Sir Sarfaraz, it is very good evaluation, and all other evaluations are very good. So I feel like to join this committee or this forum for my improvement, and it's really appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have Hafiz Libatsa. Please, sir, your thoughts.
Assalamualaikum ji, Hafiz Ibadir. I felt that to be a good communicator, or to be a good public speaker, or to be a good motivator, and you have to join this forum. And it's a very big fear in my heart to speak in front of actually English language in front of many audience. But Alhamdulillah, I have very good experience to speak in my own native language, as I am actually leading a sum of a team in my own company. So it's a very good to be here, to be a part of this good networking team, to be a part of this good intellect, mashallah. And I will be very excited to join this forum.
So we have another guest. Toastmasters are a dime a dozen, but very few are fathers of Toastmasters. Yes, you have to share your thoughts. Yes.
It's been a very good session. I enjoyed, and especially Sarfraz. Sarfraz, you are the best. You are the best mentor. I really like your comments. I really like your speeches, everything, and I will remember everything what you shared. And I really enjoyed, and I want my son to be a part of this Toastmaster.
So you missed the part where you say that I've certainly joined this club. All right. We have, yes, over to you, Madam President, for the online guests.
Okay. So guest Sheroz, can we have some comments from your side?
Yes, sure. Today it is a great meeting, and I'm looking forward to join Toastmaster Club. And I really appreciate the way Mr. Sarfraz talk. And I'm also looking forward to learn from him more. That's it aside from me. Thank you.
Okay, and guest Ilyas, can we have some comments from you?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because my internet connection is breaking here. I get some camera, or there is not really good here. So yes, this is a very good meeting. Aaron from the speaker, from the table topic speaker, also from the question. And yes, I see that you have hybrid meeting there. It's good to have hybrid meeting, because my home club also are going to prepare for the hybrid meeting. Kudos to all of you for the effort. And yes, I think that's all to sum up my feedback for today. Back to you, President. Hello?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, and that's about it. So I guess all the announcements have been made before, which were relevant to the meeting. So other than that, I guess DTM Tala, do we have any other thing to say to
Yes,
the audience?
yes. We'll just go through quickly. I would like to reinforce two announcements. The first announcement is that we have our contest this Sunday. Everyone, online and offline, please see Sunday, October 23, 10 a.m. And every member is free to participate. Even non-members can come and see how a contest is done, because a contest has a different flavor of excitement. It will be a hybrid contest, which will be for the first time in our district and for the first time in our club's history. Yeah, although previous contests have been hybrid after a fashion, but this will be the first one where even the contestants will vary between online and in person. So this will be something to witness, and I urge everyone to try to attend. And we look forward to the wonderful time we'll have trying to create 2 breakout rooms, one physical and one virtual. Yeah, looking forward to that. The second is a very special joint meeting with the San Francisco-based club Leaders Worldwide. They're celebrating their 2nd anniversary, and they will be celebrating it by doing a combined meeting with Karachi Toastmasters Club. And it will be at a very friendly time. It will start at 11 p.m. Pakistan time on Monday. So yeah, Monday, the favorite day of the week, and 11 p.m. the favorite time of the week. But all of you are once again urged to attend. It will be online, so you won't have to go anywhere to attend. So with that, I'll quickly go through the results. And now I've called for votes countless times, and I'm no longer going to call for them. So just bear the results with me. The best speaker, just give me a second. The best prepared speaker goes by a single vote to myself. It's too late to change that result. You guys haven't voted. So yeah, those who did vote, they chose me. The best table topics goes by a single vote to our guest, Toastmaster Elios Theo. Congratulations. But the good thing is that 5 table topic speakers received at least 1 vote, which is wonderful. Best evaluator goes to, wait a minute, I lost the ballot. Yeah, best evaluator goes to DTM Sarfraz. Congratulations. Best facilitator once again goes to DTM Sarfraz. And best Big 4 goes to myself. So yeah, so DTM Sarfraz actually conspired to win all the possible awards in the meeting with one exception, but your plans were foiled by the voters. I'm sorry, DTM Sarfraz. There is one more award to announce. Toastmaster Imran, can you come on the stage and announce? Yes, you come. All right, so the Critics' Choice Award and the top 3 ranking according to the Critics' Choice. And Critics' Choice is actually a qualitative evaluation of the speech. 3rd place goes to DTM Sarfraz. Congratulations. 2nd place goes to Toastmaster Vijar. And 1st place goes to myself. So with that, the announcements are over and the meeting is over too. But with the announcement that see you all again this Sunday and then this Monday, and if possible, before that, this Saturday as well in Quantum meeting. So thank you so much, and over to you, Madam President.
Okay, and with that, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Everyone, thank you so much for participating, and see you all again.